What would you do if you were face to face with hatred? Would you yell? Would you punch? For Aaron Courtney, a high school football coach from Gainesville, Florida, the answer was hug. Courtney was on his way out from a protest against white nationalist Richard Spencer's speech at University of Florida when he spotted his chance to confront someone who hates his very existence. He just had one question.
What you don't like me?
But Randy Furness, a neo-Nazi skinhead, didn't have an answer. Instead, he stared. I could have hit him. I could have hurt him, Courtney told the New York Daily News. But something in me said, you know what? He just needs love. That's when Courtney, taking his father's teaching as a bishop at heart, offered Furness a hug. And finally, he got an answer. I don't know. It's a gesture that a former white supremacist recommends as more effective than a punch, and Samantha Bee recently even dedicated a whole tongue-in-cheek segment to it.
I would imagine in the history of the world, nobody's changed their opinion because they got punched in the face, because it now makes them the victim. So, hug a Nazi.
Christian Piccolino now runs Life After Hate, a counter-radicalization group, and says that the key to reaching and reforming white supremacists is understanding.
The best way to destroy hate is with love.
I'm sorry. You said what now?
Daryl Davis, a blues musician from Chicago, has employed love and understanding as tools in dismantling hate. Over the last 30 years, 200 Ku Klux Klan members have given up their robes as a result of their friendship with Davis.
If you spend 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, with your arch enemy, you will find that you have something in common with him or her.
But many don't agree with Davis. In a sit-down with two Black Lives Matter activists in his documentary Accidental Courtesy, he tries to explain his approach.
We all have to live in this country together. Okay, we do. Otherwise, we're going to end up self-destructing.
Instead of spending time collecting the history of hate, why not spend that time trying to collect the history that was stolen from us?
Critics of Davis and of those trying to fight hate with hugs ask, why must the burden of being the bigger person continuously fall on the oppressed, and specifically on people of color? And while the concept of hugging the racism out of a person is attractive, the reality is that doing so puts yourself at risk when facing someone whose entire ideology is at odds with your safety. It's a question that separated schools of thought in the civil rights movement too. Malcolm X urged for equality by any means necessary, while Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. preached about the weapon of love. If we are arrested every day, if we are exploited every day, if we are trampled over every day, don't ever let anyone pull you so low as to hate them. We must use the weapon of love. We must have compassion and understanding for those who hate us. We must realize that so many people are taught to hate us that they're not totally responsible for their hate. But we stand in life at midnight. We are always on the threshold of a new dawn. There's no manual for how to erase hate and intolerance. What is the right way to approach a Nazi? Is there one? But if there were a chance you could somehow open someone's eyes to a new perspective through kindness, would you? For Uproxx, I'm Steve Vasquez.